All right, so you may have noticed that the abundance that we're speaking of is the endless stream of the energy that creates worlds. That's some nest egg. That's a big pile of useful energy. And we're going to speak it from your point of view, from all of your point of views. So just relax and sort of step into it wherever you step into it. I am beginning to understand that I am a physically focused energy, creative energy that has come into this physical body with unlimited potential to create whatever I choose. And I came into an environment that was pretty well established. There was a lot to observe when I got here, and a lot of opinions about all of it that I was subjected to and that I had reaction to. And from that, I formed, without even really knowing I was doing it, opinions about things. I began to think thoughts that others thought, and the more I thought them, the more those thoughts came, and the more those thoughts came, the more things that matched those thoughts came. And so I started trending. And from my perspective in life, my life is uniquely mine. I can feel it as I observe so many others living so many different things. And as a result of all of that contrast in living my life as it came to me and seeing others live their life, I've gotten pretty good at identifying things that I prefer. Because some of what I'm living I don't prefer, and some of what I'm living I do prefer, and a lot of what others are living I prefer. And I believe that I'm getting better at not being locked into what I've got. I'm understanding that the variety that surrounds me is giving me ideas and notions and inclinations and even desires that, hey, I could have some of that. I could have some of that because it looks good to me in this way and in this way. And so I know for sure that just by my living of life, I'm benefiting by what's going on around. And I have the sense, listening to Abraham and other teachers, I believe it when they say that I can be or do or have anything that I want. And I honestly think that a lot of my hang-up is that I don't choose big enough. I don't really know how to choose big enough. And we want to say to you, you can't choose beyond what the law of attraction is yielding to you. So there we are. I'm in my body. I want to be a deliberate creator. I'm appreciating the variety that is around me, and I feel inspired by what some are doing, discouraged by what some are doing. As I compare myself, sometimes I'm uplifted by their success, and often I'm discouraged by their success because I keep comparing my manifestations with their manifestations, forgetting that nothing that they're doing has anything to do with what I'm doing, except that they help me to identify my desires. That's what others really help me with. They're not there to support me because I don't need supporting. They are not the source of the energy that flows to me. They are catalysts that help me in defining what I want. And I think at this point in my life, I've done a pretty good job of defining what I want. And I often feel excited by my acknowledgement that I want that. Now, so far, so good. So far, we're having a sort of conversation about how to be the deliberate creator that you're born to be. Stay with us just a little bit. Recently, I have become aware that this universe is a vibrational universe that manifests into great things like wealth, like fame, like magnificent vehicles and lovely places to live and lovely lifestyles and lovely relationships. In other words, I get it that the way a person thinks is what results in the way their life becomes. And I'm beginning to understand, I think I've got it, I'm beginning to understand that deliberate creation is about deliberate focus. And I'm getting really good at that. I'm thinking and speaking more about the things that I care about, and I'm not talking so much about the things that I don't want. I know for sure that I'm becoming a better and better and better deliberate creator. There's something I can feel that is beginning to happen within me that makes this creative experience more than just looking and seeing and wanting and getting. That feels like yesterday's conversation. What I can feel bubbling within me is this feeling of invincibility, which means there are no limitations for me, which is a little scary, just a little bit scary, because that kind of unlimited power feels to me like it needs bigger dreams. And I don't have, I want that Lamborghini that my neighbor has. I want that. And his wife's hot too. But there are things that I want, but I'm beginning to feel this, Abraham uses the words energy that creates worlds. And so I'm beginning to feel like there's something bigger for me to create, but I can't think past what is. In other words, spaceships, I don't think that's it. Fixing climate change would be nice, but I don't think that's really what I'm going for either. Stopping world hunger, wouldn't that be nice, but not really ringing my personal bells right now. It feels like it wraps around the idea of invincibility, of unlimitedness. And I'm trying to get my thoughts around what that unlimitedness feels like. Does it just feel like if I want that, I can get that? It's more than that. It's more like if I want that, that's just the beginning of identifying the vibrational frequency of it. And it's like getting to be part of the genetic unfolding of it. It's like true creation. It's not just about gathering a bunch of things and bringing them to my pile, my corner of the world. Like there's this finite pie that we are dividing up. It feels more like the infiniteness of this pie, and I want to be in on the expansion of the pie, which means it's the explosion of the ideas and the ability to accept the inevitability of an idea that explodes, and the passion that I feel when I get to be there on the cusp right before the idea explodes, and then when it does, and to recognize my part in the explosion of that idea. I'm a creator. I'm a creator who must create. And I want my hands in the clay as I create, which means it's not just taking manifestations that others have brought this far. It's about starting with whole new concepts. Like, wouldn't it be interesting if the structure of the world as I've known it to be, as we've all known it to be, got upended and everybody or most everybody stayed home for a couple of years? And sort of pushed a reset button where they actually began to acknowledge that there were things about the way they used to live that they don't like so much, and things about the way they're living now that they like a little better. Wouldn't it really be something if enough people could have had that experience that we could be pretty much unlimited in what we get to ask for right now? Wouldn't it be interesting to be in a time and space where the majority of the world simultaneously doesn't have a clue what's coming next? And so there are less of them that are trying to hold us to their ideas of what the proper way to think is, where I get to choose what I want. So what is it that I want to choose? What is it that I'm choosing? That beautiful car, I wanted it for a long time, and when I got it, it was great. I really liked it for a minute. It wasn't the answer for me. It was an answer. I don't want to give it back. I'm going to get another one just like it when I get done with this one. In other words, don't anybody misunderstand that. But I'm beginning to realize that it isn't acquisition. It is true creation. It is turning thoughts to things. It is turning my thoughts to things. It is accepting that I am so understood by infinite intelligence or source or whatever you want to call that, and that what I'm asking for matters so much that whatever that life force is seems to be hanging on my every word or my every vibration. And now that I understand the power of it, it's like I want to start at the true nut of who I am, where I really get off on the right energetic foot. And this seems weird, people of the world who might be listening to me as I speak this, but it isn't anything about what I thought it was about. It's about accepting the value of me and not measuring my ideas with anyone else, but just fostering and watching my ideas watching my vibrations become thoughts and emotions, and then conversations, and then more, and then more, and then more, and then more, and then more. Project by project, person by person, conversation by conversation. More, 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 more. That is the mantra of the universe. You are eternal beings, and you cannot stop becoming more. But you can miss most of the savoring of the more that you are becoming. You can miss it. You can miss it because instead of savoring the idea, you're wondering why the money isn't in the bank yet. The money will come, and you'll like it. You'll like it. It's good. Money's a good thing. Contacts are a good thing. But connection to your inner being and tending to your point of attraction is where it's at. Not just what gets you to what you want. It is what you want. We've enjoyed this interaction more than any that has come before. And that's your doing. Your asking was strong, but your readiness to hear was strong too. And so now you know some things. You know some things that you didn't know as clearly before. You're not going to slip back from this place of knowing your point of attraction is forever changed. You now know what to do. You're not going to do it immediately. You're going to not do it and feel sad and then remember, oh yeah. You're going to not do it and feel confused and you're going to remember, oh yeah. But you're going to be better at catching things at the earlier vibrational stages, because when you do, it's so much easier than waiting for a full-blown manifestation and then having to talk yourself out of something that has so much evidence pounding in around you. People in your life who are watching you and taking score of what you're doing or not doing, your feeling that you have to explain to them is your biggest tripping point, because it introduces or activates, is a better word, into your active now vibration whatever it is that they've got going on. Not necessary. If you can just practice when you're not with them, loving them, giving them the benefit of the doubt. When you give somebody the benefit of the doubt, you're the one who receives the benefit every time. So if you just say things to yourself like, they don't really get it, and they're doing the best they know how to do, and I know it's out of love that they are even talking to me, and I love them so much for their interest in me, and we've been talking about Jerry all day, but we'll finish with this. One of the things that he often said, Esther always laughed when she saw it coming. He would say to people that they were having dinner with, or people who were experts on this or that, and he'd say, if I ask your opinion about something and you give it to me and then I don't follow your advice, will that upset you? And they would say, no, not at all. And he'd say, okay, then I'll ask it. Because he wanted to collect information. He didn't want to feel beholden to what their idea was. And can't you feel that you're sort of oriented that way? That you sort of feel an obligation to not offend somebody by behaving the way they expect you to behave? People have made assumptions about you that don't have anything to do with you. And you let them lock you in to their misunderstanding of who you are. It's time to give that up. It's time to just be who you are and tend to your own point of attraction and let the law of attraction bring you those who are ready to play with you.